We'll get started. So, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for all that attended. This has been a big effort here on behalf of me, the music department. So, appreciate you guys. Guillermo, shout out to Guillermo who's here right now. Thank you guys so much for being here. So, thrilled to welcome you to this very special speaker series to me, Throne Theory. So, we're going to dive deep into the mindset, strategy, and insight into what it takes to thrive in the music industry, music business. And this goes beyond music, right? It honestly teaches you how to apply yourself in settings where it's really competitive, and we're all at a liberal arts school who are on to do great things. So just putting yourself in positions of success is always something great to be a part of. Today's conversation is going to be about legacy, artistry, hustle, and vision. And I couldn't think of two better guests to help us explore all of that and the people you're about to meet. So first up, we have someone who's like an incredible mentor to me, an inspiration personally. Her name is Suzanne Christine. She's a proud Philly native, a three-time winner of R&B pop artist, female, a Philly native, and best female pop artist R&B in Philadelphia. She's been along the likes of Mary J. Blige, Babyface, Music Soul Child, The Roots, and more. And beyond the stage, she's a fierce advocate in the educational, systemic education community, and as an indie artist. And that's what she's actually going to talk about, navigating the music industry as an indie artist. And today she'll be sharing insights on how independent musicians can build sustainable careers without compromising any of their creativity. So without further ado, I'm going to bring out Suzanne.
Hey, you're perfectly early.
You're good.
Can you hear me now?
So, all right, everybody. Suzanne Christine from the Recording Academy.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. My name is Suzanne Christine. I'm a singer-songwriter from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm excited and so honored and grateful that Jackson invited me out. He is my Grammy U mentee, and I'm just ecstatic to have the opportunity to speak with you all. Today, I plan to talk with you all about navigating the music industry as an independent artist. Now, is there anybody in the audience that is already an artist, believes they are an artist, wants to be an artist?
We had some recitals. You had a recital.
Someone here in the audience who wants to be in the music industry. Okay. Wants to work with music artists. Okay. All right. Great. Already working with music artists. Kind of, sort of. Okay. All right. So independent. We're having a little. I'm going to talk a lot, but I do ask a couple questions. Okay. Is that all right? Independent. What does that mean to you when you think about an artist? What does that give you? No. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Like somebody who releases their own music without a label.
Okay. Yes. Not dependent on major label specifically, but they may have a label. Lots of independent artists have labels. In fact, I'm an independent artist. I have my own label. And in order for you to begin, the first thing that you need to know about an independent artist is that they are an entrepreneur, which means that they are a business. And if you're going to be a business, that means that you need to have a business mindset, and you need to be actually formed as a business. So me being an independent artist, the first thing I learned was, I need to talk with someone to teach me how I should run my business. How should I set up my business? Why is that important? Because I have things to write off. So my LLC, SCH Entertainment, has turned into a label in which I get paid through, and then I pay the artist, Suzanne Christine. So that's number one. An artist, an independent artist, may have a label, but they can still be independent. That means that they have freedom. That's when I think about an independent artist, I think about them having the freedom or choosing to have the freedom to release their music when they want, how they want. You have a decision you have the choice to decide what type of music you want to release, when you want to release it. However, just because you're independent does not mean you are alone. You cannot do it alone. So, first things first, you have to believe in yourself 110%. Because in order for you to get anywhere in your business or for anyone to invest in you as a business owner, you must believe in yourself. And what does believing in yourself look like as an independent artist? It looks like first investing into yourself. Investing money into yourself. Investing time into yourself. Investing energy into yourself. Because you can't expect for anyone to want to do these things for you if you aren't first doing it for yourself. And I recommend anyone who is thinking about working with a music artist, if they say they want to be a music artist, they should be showing up as a music artist first. Whether it's them going out and investing the time and energy to book their own shows or go to open mics and finding ways for them to show up and showcase their talent. Whether it's them investing the time to create a website and a place that shows I actually really truly do this. Whether it's their social media profile that's showing I'm really truly an artist. You see me showcasing my talent. You see me releasing my music. And even still, they may need to actually invest into the educational parts of what it really truly means to be a music artist. I'll never forget when I decided that I am going to be a music artist because I was always a singer. I was always a vocalist. And in fact, I actually always made money off of my voice. I always did that. However, I didn't create a name. I didn't have a website. I never released music. And at the time that I came out, there were CDs. I know we don't do the CD thing anymore. But we had to have a physical product that showed that this is what I do. I didn't spend much time in the studio. I would write songs, but they would stay maybe just in my book, and I would sing them to family and friends. So I took the time out to call someone that I knew in the music industry named Professor Pooch. God bless his soul, passed away. But Professor Pooch, he told me I invested time first and money into consultations with him. And he really helped me connect a lot of dots, okay? He sat down, he told me, Suzanne, you need to be on a PRO. You need to be on BMI or ASCAP. So you need to sign up for these things. You need to put your music on these particular websites and enter into contests. Suzanne, you need to go to this open mic. So these particular things helped me decide, okay, all right, I'm going to listen. I'm going to keep going back to him until I feel comfortable enough to do what he's actually telling me to do. I put myself on a website back then called ourstage.com. And there was a song that I released. I put this song out. I entered into a contest, and out of 1,400 people nationally, my song won. And because of that, I was able to do some great things. Now, take a pause. I gotta rewind. I put the song out on the platform. I'm currently working at Vanguard, which is a financial institution, and I have my Series 6 and 63 licenses where I'm selling mutual funds and talking to people about their big money and retirement accounts, et cetera, et cetera. Sounds like fun, right? And, it wasn't too much fun for me. So I had to make another decision to say, you know what? I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to take a leap of faith, and I'm going to leave this job. I left the job. I submitted the song. 6 months later, I found out I won that competition. Now, the competition gave me the opportunity to open up for DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, Wale, T.I., Monica at Radio One Fest in Miami, Florida. This is my first big opportunity to hit the stage, okay? First moment. I would not have had that opportunity for a couple reasons. If I, A, didn't choose to believe in myself, that I was more than capable of doing these things. B, if I did not invest time and energy to release music, to pay someone who was in my field, in my business, who can consult, that I could consult with, to tell me, hey, you need to be on these particular platforms, I would not have had these opportunities. They also put me on the radio. So that was my first time hearing my song on the radio, and friends from college calling me, Suzanne, oh my gosh, I'm hearing you on the radio. Oh my goodness. That's a reward. So navigating the music industry as an independent artist, you first, A, have to believe in yourself. You have to invest the time and energy. You have to make wise decisions. Now, in addition to doing those things, it's very important for you to be able to identify people who now believe in you, because you have shown and proved that you believe in yourself, okay? This person is showing up for themselves time and time and time again. I believe in this person. This person has a great talent. They have a beautiful voice. They're putting out great music. They look like an artist. I want to help them. Now it's saying, okay, I need to build a team because I cannot do this alone. Yes, in the beginning, you're going to wear lots of hats. You're going to be the person maybe building your website. I think a lot of us anybody know how to build a website? Coding? Yeah, see, most people in this day and age, most people now know how to do these things. I think back then that was like, you know how to build a website? So yes, building a website, you may be your own fashion stylist. You're managing yourself. You're making your own decisions without maybe you're asking your friends, like, what do you think I should do? But now you should be able to attract people who are believing in you, and you're able to identify that these people are in the business and that they're willing to help you, so you don't have to continue wearing so many hats yourself. I remember actually have gotten the opportunity to hire someone and say, I'm doing this show. I've been dressing myself all this time, but I want to really show up looking like a great artist and hit this stage. So I hired a great fashion designer to make an outfit for me. So you need all of these people to help you run your business. And that means that you have to pay some of these people. You need to communicate, set up team meetings. You have to run your business as an entrepreneur. Sometimes you may want to get with interns, people who are younger than you, or people who are trying to do what it is that is going to be able to assist you and help you. Like people like yourself who raise your hands, you want to work with artists. Maybe you're interning with them. Maybe you're just getting your feet wet. You've never done what it is that you're trying to do before. So you take those moments and opportunities. Another part in navigating the music industry as an independent artist, you have to be willing to fail. Is there anybody in the room willing to fail something? Yes. 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 So, I quit that job. I had money in the bank. Suzanne didn't quite understand that she was an entrepreneur at the time, for real. She just didn't really grasp the idea. I'm an entrepreneur. I need to know what I'm investing my money in. I had the perfect song. I'm putting out the music. I wasn't aware that I needed to be actually hiring somebody who could market the music. I need to find somebody who's good at marketing, good at data, good at PR. Let's get these songs in the right places. We can do the shows, we can do the open mics. We could try to get some radio play. We can throw it up there on SoundCloud. But I need to find somebody who can run some ads, and put it in and get me in a magazine, or get me some more notoriety. So I put out this great song, and nobody really knows this great song because I didn't know that I should have been investing the money into the great song. So now, fast forward, money's gone. I done put money in other places, and I get to a point where, guess what? Suzanne's an independent artist trying to figure out how she's going to make some money. What is she doing? We're at ground zero. Where can I go? What can I do? It feels like you failed because you took a leap of faith. You released some music. Yeah, you got some great things going on, but financially, where's the money coming from? What's happening? What do I do? So now I have to learn there's other opportunities for music artists to make money. It takes me to join networks like the Recording Academy, where there are other musicians, music creators, and music professionals who say, hey, you have some really great songs. You wrote those songs? Yeah, I wrote those songs. Oh, great. Well, listen, I have an opportunity where Lifetime shows bringing, they need some songs that sound like Rihanna. You sound like Rihanna in some of these songs. I think you can do it. Would you mind? We have a budget, et cetera, et cetera. Whoa, wait a minute. The universe just opened another door that I didn't even know truly existed. Now I'm an independent artist that's not just a singer, a vocalist, a performer. I'm utilizing some of my other skills. I am landing some placements now. I'm getting some songs heard on networks, and I'm getting paid to write. I'm getting paid to reference. So if you're navigating the industry as a music artist, it takes for you, again, to believe in yourself, to be willing to fail time and time again. And usually when you're failing, you're never really failing. You're learning lessons. You're learning lessons. It's never really, truly failure. It's moments and opportunities for you to say to yourself, what did I learn from this experience? How could I do it better? What would I do next time? I have a song. I moved to New York. It's a great song. What do you think I'm going to do this time? Get help. That's a fact. Get some help. Create a team that knows what they're doing. Invest into the song. Invest into the song. Find people who will what? Market. Help me market this material because it needs marketing. Okay? What do? I find someone that's going to help manage me, get this music placed in great places. So now this time around, this song is being heard nationally. Sirius XM, it's being heard on Hot 97, it's being heard on WBLS, it's being heard in Italy, across seas. I'm traveling now to perform the record. You know, I'm getting magazines and PR work. I'm getting write-ups. These are all the things. I'm hiring a team to make sure that this song will travel and do what it needs to do. I'm utilizing every resource that I have because that's important in order for you to excel and be successful as an independent artist navigating this business. It's important for you to make the connections. It's important for you to utilize your resources wisely. It's important for you to never stop believing in yourself, in your products, and what it is that you are doing. So if you are working with a music artist, if you want to be a music artist, if you want to support a music artist, it's important for you to always speak to them in ways that remind them that they are more than capable. It's important for you to help them identify people who are always supporting them, who are willing to help them so that they can excel and so that they can succeed. And it's also important that they show up as if they really truly believe in themselves, that they're being dedicated to their craft, that they're being committed to their talent, they're showing up for themselves day in and day out so that they can achieve the rewards and success that is available to them. Thank you. Thank you, Jackson.
Awesome, guys. And then next y'all, there's Frzy, man. This is the man. He's an Emmy award-winning rapper. He's one of 3 rappers to actually win an Emmy, which is like one of the most prestigious TV awards you can get internationally. He's a Guinness World Record holder with the longest freestyle ever for 33 hours long. So it's something that's absolutely ridiculous, and hopefully you guys get a little piece of that. Lyrical technician, man. He's a true storyteller, visionary who doesn't just chase dreams, he builds kingdoms. That's something, he preaches a lot. That's why the name of this event is Throne Theory. He's not only a fellow Grammy U governor like Suzanne, but in my eyes, he's a mentor. He's an amazing person. I've been working with him for the last 6 months. He's been across all of my shows and platforms that I've created at Haverford and outside of Haverford. The day after Saturday, my parent podcast, my production company, PBJ. And I even had the honor of being on stage with him for an unforgettable night called First Night, which was like a concert for New Year's Eve downtown Pittsburgh. what an incredible event that was. And today he's going to be breaking down the philosophy of his success, throwing theory and sharing his numbers, principles, and stories that he has shaped throughout his path. And you'll hear about the role of the number 111, how his belief and discipline can shift your entire trajectory. And yes, get ready, because we'll also be blessing the mic with a freestyle performance you won't forget. So without further ado, Mr. Frzy, man, appreciate you so much for being here.
Is my mic on? There we go. Okay. I can hear me from the titty. Okay. How y'all doing? Make some noise for yourselves. I appreciate y'all. Got the shades on, but I can still see y'all in the back. See you. I like the brand. Oh, man. Well, first off, also, let's make some noise for Suzanne Christine. Appreciate it. Man, I'm so excited to be here and come all the way out. I live in Pittsburgh. I'm also in LA. And it's really important to me to talk to you about throne theory, which is the recipe for royalty, right? I'm a big Einstein fan. I recently did a TED Talk that was called Me equals MC squared. We spell MC like AMC, y'all get it, bars. But it was amazing to get a chance to do a TED Talk. And we sat down and we talked. I broke the Guinness World Record for the longest freestyle rap at 31 hours straight. And UPMC, which is one of the biggest hospitals and medical things in the world, studied my brain to find out how someone could do something like that. And it was scary. And yes, I did go to the bathroom. We'll talk about that. I didn't wear a diaper. I would have, but it's a little puffy. It's weird when you do that. But it made it something that really got a chance to show the world how I see things. And the way that I see things is to study the reaction. Then how am I writing my legacy, right? Because it's not about what I'm doing right now, but how people are going to talk about me later, right? The most important conversations are the ones you never hear. Right? I remember growing up, I'm at the lunch table, I'm sitting with my friends, they talking about a bar that Biggie did, something Tupac said. I was listening to Will Smith. And he just dropped a new album today, actually. Yeah. I might have listened to it on the way up. It's all right. But I listened to Will Smith, and Will Smith never cussed. That's why my mom let me listen to it. My first real rap album I ever bought was 50 Cent. But I was listening to Will Smith, so they over there talking about Jay-Z and Biggie moving crack, hustling on the block. I'm like, yeah, but Will Smith was getting jiggy with it. He's saving the world from aliens. You're not even sure, But I realized that those conversations helped to elevate their career, right? It made them more popular in the room. It made people wonder what we were talking about. We might have quoted a bar from a Jay-Z song or a Nas song, and it made them want to go listen to that song. Now, Jay-Z and Nas and Biggie and Will Smith never heard us having those conversations. But those are the ones that build up their career and start it. And that's what you want to do as an artist or in any field that you guys are in. Now, how many of you guys in here are artists yourself? No? Nobody? Okay. Want to work in the music business? Okay, nice. I like it. Music fans? Okay, good. I love to be working. I was going to be concerned. Wait a minute. But I think that this mentality, this throne theory mentality, goes into every genre or any business field that you're in, because it's all about the way that you are writing your legacy. And think about it for yourself. Are you doing something every day to add to your legacy? What's the handwriting going to look like? What's the diction? How are people going to talk about you? How are people going to remember you? One of the things that always sticks to me is that Jesus, somebody asks me, who you want to be like? I'm like, Jesus. And of course they think I'm just the super religious, crazy person that wears a monk robe, which I do have a robe. It's like a Jedi robe. Just look there, what you're saying. But I always say that the people that know about Jesus the most are the people that don't believe in him, right? An atheist can tell you every single thing about what's going on. And I know that I want to get to the point where if I walk on water, they'll say it's because I can't swim, right? So we want to be this person that throughout time, none of us in this room, none of our parents, none of our grandparents, none of our great-great-grandparents, none of our great-great-great-great-great-grandparents have ever met Jesus. They've never seen him before. Don't know if he look like me, if he look like you. He look like you, he probably look like you. You got a nice tan like the mustache. But you never know, right? But yet and still, everyone can tell you what he looked like. Everybody can tell you the things that he did, what he didn't do. And that's what I want. I was like, I need that Jesus legacy. You know what I'm saying? I want that. I want them to build statues, and I don't want to say church because that's blasphemy, but y'all know what I mean. I need some buildings. So that's really important. one of the things I want to talk to you guys about, and this is a plug also for the new albums that I just dropped, is the difference between popularity and success. Because that's where we're at right now, right? Like we're in this journey of society where they get mixed and confused really quick. Where somebody on social media can have 1 million followers when we're working at the grocery store. And that everybody, we were just talking about this, that everybody's an expert, right? I can scroll on my timeline and 12 different people can tell me how to do a push-up. But one person could tell me that eggs are amazing, and another person tell me eggs can kill me. And what does that mean to be popular? What does it mean to be successful? I am, without any spoilers, working on something with Nickelodeon. And I got a chance to meet the CEO of Nickelodeon, and he has 629 followers on Instagram, averaging about 4 likes per pic. Posting some good pictures, got some flowers in there, a couple things with his dog. 4 likes. He said he accidentally sent a request to one of his friends and they declined it. Didn't even know he was the CEO of Nickelodeon, right? But there's a kid with 2.5 million followers who just lays their face on bread. That's all she does. Ain't no cleavage, ain't no craziness, ain't no OnlyFans link. Just buys a piece of bread. And if you comment enough, you can choose the piece of bread that she lays her face on. 2.5 million. Right? She seems like she would be more important than the CEO of Nickelodeon. So you got to watch out on these social media platforms on who is doing what are you doing, and how successful are you? Because if an app can just go away and you become irrelevant, are you really relevant? Right? How many people saw when the TikTok ban was happening? How many influencers was on there ugly face crying? I don't know how, but cool. When I'm popping out here, you can't. Like they ain't on other platforms. You're on other platforms, but that showed you how much power really goes into those popular spaces. So I wanted to make sure for myself that I was the type of artist, just like the ones we grew up on, like a Beyonce or Justin Timberlake, that if they took me off of something, let's say I was on TikTok popping or I'm on Instagram popping, they shut down, somebody runs into the Instagram room, turns off the servers, unplugs it, right? That you'll go pick up a magazine and I'm right there. Let's say you can't read. Some people can't read, it's okay. They got audio books. And you go outside, I'm on the side of the bus. You go to Pittsburgh, you go around, they just about to name a street out to me. And then you can drive down the street with my name on it. Right? Turn on the radio, I'm on there, I'm on the TV as well. That to me is what success means. Mm-hmm. That having a real throne, being a king or a queen, and I was just telling Suzanne this, is that the best thrones have never been sat at. Because as royalty, you want to be on the front lines with the people, fighting next to them, showing them that you care about what's going on. And for me, with music, I'm right there in it. Now, one of the most important things I want to talk to you guys about is studying the reaction. Right? Now, I'm going to pick somebody, I'll pick you. Because you was giving me the hit, and I was like, preach. Now, you're in school here? What year are you?
Freshman.
Freshman? Okay, what are you studying?
Biology.
Okay, let's go. What do you want? Do you want to be a biologist when you graduate?
A doctor.
Ooh, okay. Now, what kind of doctor?
Pediatrics.
Oh, let's go. Okay, we out here. Okay, so you better say that shit with some calm. Yeah, put the chin up. Now, is that going to be difficult?
Yes.
Okay, but you're going to do it though, right?
Hopefully.
Oh, okay. We're going to try this one more time because she said hopefully, like it ain't going to happen. You know what I mean?
Come on.
It's going to be difficult, right?
Confidence.
Yes.
And you're going to do it, right?
Yes.
Okay, there it is. Thank you so much. Right. Now, when that happens, right now you're studying, you got books, you got everything you need to do. And what's that helping you do?
Prepare for the future.
Prepare for the future, right? So to me, that's the same thing I want you guys to do when it comes to your careers in any standpoint. Now, she's in school. So school is giving it to you, making you do it. And they're grading you, and there's people that are doing that. There's people that you're going to be more successful than and smarter than that are going to decide if you are good enough to be a doctor, which is crazy, right? But they've earned that position. They've studied long enough. They've done it, right? So now you are going to become a representation of them. That's why teachers are so important, right? That's why you want to make them proud, because they are the ones that are representing and sending you into that world prepared. So you got to do it with the same thing. Now, for me, I'm going to give y'all a little secret into how I be moving out here. Now, let's say that I want to, let's say I want a crayon. Jay-Z has a crayon, by the way. Jay-Z Blue is like an actual crayon that he has, which is, I'm super jealous. We'll work on that. Frizzy Pink, we'll figure it out. But let's say that I want to have a crayon named after me. Now, I call it hunting for success, studying the reaction for me, this is the fun part, right? The accomplishment is the accomplishment. And people are going to celebrate that accomplishment. They're going to come to your different graduations. They're going to do those things. But this is the fun part. The journey is the fun part. So now I get to go online and I get to find out who is the CEO of Crayon. Who is that? Who is this person? Because it's just a person, right? In our minds, we create this stigma of them being bigger than the world, but it's just a person, right? While I'm Googling him, he's probably shitting at home right now, right? So now I find out who that person is. Now, I've worked really hard to be known and popular and famous enough that I have a network. So now I get to figure out, okay, I'm hunting right now. I'm hunting for that success. Yeah. Who does this person know? What's something about him? Where does he go? What does he do? And I get to go on it now. He probably got a LinkedIn page or his Instagram or Facebook, but now I know his last name. So now does he have a wife? Does he have kids? Do those kids go to a school somewhere? Where could I bump into him at? Or where could I bump into somebody who's underneath him? Now I start to look at who has the power. Because, right, he's the yes or no, but who's asking him the questions that's making him answer those questions. So this is the fun part. Now I get to figure out, okay, now he's stationed in New York. Okay, Ben, he went to school at Haverford. Oh, stop, I know some people there. Now, what year did he graduate from that school? I graduated in the late 70s. Got a little bit of gray hair going for him right now. So now I've made a relationship with Jackson. Jackson's helped me connect with Mr. G. Mr. G's in the faculty, which means he's here. He's a professor. He knows some people that know some people. So he's going to know a teacher that not only may not know the CEO of Crayola, but was teaching here at the same time, which means that that person is going to now know someone who knows him. Even if it's a lunch lady, doesn't matter. I don't think there's lunch ladies at college, but you know what I mean. I go to the hall. So now I get to get in touch with that person. I get to find out that relationship. Oh my gosh, yeah, he was in here all the time. He came to eat all the time. Good. Humans eat. That means you know him. So now if you reach out to him, he's going to respond because the thought of you is only positive. The same way as if I'm luring a lion into a thing, I'm going to have to maybe kill something to get the lion there, just to kill the lion. So taking those steps in order to hunt for what you want. Now she's going to reach out. He's going to respond. The conversation has been open. Now I have a direct conversation with the person that says yes and no. It'll seem like a coincidence, right? But I accidentally did it on purpose. And that's the big thing about throne theory, a big thing about being able to hunt, to study the reaction of something. I'll give you guys a little secret. Suzanne doesn't even know this story, so this is cool. We are both in the Recording Academy. We're both on the board of the Recording Academy, which is a huge accomplishment. There's different chapters all around the world now, London, here, in the United States. And it was really important for me to get into the Recording Academy. I wanted it. I want my Grammy. I have an Emmy already. And I got a shelf that's just empty. I like to buy empty shelves with titles on them. And I buy a little light from Walmart. They're on sale now. If y'all want them, I'll send y'all links. And I just keep them empty. And to me, I found out in order to get into the Recording Academy, you have to have 2 recommendations. Now, I thought, because I didn't really do too much research, I was like, oh, 2 recommendations, that's cool. I'm going to get 10. Because I want to make sure that they can't say no. That's one of the things I love to do. I want to put you in a position where if you say no, you look stupid. So I looked at the research and I found out that there were different chapters, 12 different chapters. So I went and I made a relationship with one person in every single chapter by myself. And I had 12 recommendations sent in for myself. Now, I only needed 2. I was doing a lot, but I got them in. Right? Now, here's the cool part, is that I found out at the time when I was getting in there, the CEO that was there, now, it's a new person now, but at the time, there was a different CEO in the academy. And I looked it up and I figured out where she was, and I found out that she used to be the president of RED, which was like a different organization that helped out with relief across the world. And that organization was run by Bono, YouTube Bono. And when she got the job, Bono gave her the job by taking her to a cafe in New York City and buying her breakfast. And they sat there and they talked. And it was this big story in Rolling Stone, but it was years ago. I'm talking 2008, 2007 when this story came out. So none of us had really read it, right? We're not going back that far. But I did my research and I found that out. And she wrote in that article that it was the most amazing moment that changed her life because Bono said yes to her in that cafe. And she'll never forget what happened to her in that cafe. So I reached out to some people in the academy. At the time, we had a different person named Mark who was running one of our spots. And I asked him if he could get me in touch with her, and I did, and I asked her if I could take her to lunch. She said yes. I was like, I'm going to be in New York. I was doing something with MTV. Could I take you to lunch? She said, absolutely. I'll have my assistant pick a spot. I was like, actually, I have a spot. And I called the cafe ahead of time, and from the picture that I saw that table that she sat with Bono was still there. So I called him, I told him he was coming. I told him when we were coming, because that place doesn't take reservations, it's a cafe. I was like, could you guys hold that table for me specifically? I sent them the link to the article. I was like, I'm coming with this person. They said, absolutely, Frzy. So I told her, hey, we're going to go here to go meet. She was like, oh, okay. She played it off cool. Because I knew that title was going to get her, but she thought it was just a coincidence. Oh, yes, Frzy, absolutely. We can meet there. She did a little giggle at the end. I was like, gotcha. Right? So we go to meet there, and I made sure they held that table off for us, and we sat at that table in New York. And I made sure that I sat exactly where she was, and that she sat where Bono was. And we talked. We talked for a good 15, 20 minutes. We laughed, we joked. And then I told her that I wanted to be in the academy, and my goals in the academy and what I wanted to do. It wasn't just about winning the Grammy, but I needed to be that guy in there. And she said, okay, cool, absolutely, Frzy. And I saw she was understanding me, but in my mind, I'm like, how many meetings does she take a day? How many people are pitching this story to her? And I go, isn't it crazy that you have the same power over me that Bono had over you? She looked at me crazy. She looked like a stalker at first. Turned into a little bit of a Lifetime movie, but we pulled back. And she was like, "What? How'd you know I was with Bono?" I was like, weren't you were here with Bono, right? Is this actually the table you were sitting at? She goes, oh my, it is. What? That's crazy. And then you saw it hit her. She goes, did you know this already? I go, absolutely, I knew this already. Because why would I waste your time, right? I go, actually, you could say yes to me the same way Bono said yes to you. Do you remember how you felt sitting here? And she took a breath. She's like, I can't believe you did this much attention to detail just to get a yes out of me. And I go, well, that yes they gave you when you sat at this table changed your life. So now you have the power to do that for somebody else. And of course she said yes, and now I'm in the academy. But it was that moment where she realized all the extra stuff that happened, all the conversations that happened that she never heard, all the time that was taken to put her in a position with power, the same as she did with Bono. Now, the Bono thing, she happened to be at that place, he happened to pick it, and they happened to have that conversation there. But just to let her know how powerful she really was in that space and how she could hold that in her hands. Now, I hope that I can do enough things in my career that somebody finds out about that story and takes me there one day, and the same thing happens and the cycle continues. But it's about studying the reaction. I knew by putting her in that space, giving her that power, and showing her that I cared, that she was going to 100% say yes. She had no choice because Bono did the same to her. And she knew in that moment exactly how I felt. And that's how you connect, right? That's how my music does what it does. That's how anybody does what they do, is connecting and trusting that that person has your best interest in mind. When you become a doctor and those people walk in the room, they're going to trust you. They're going to trust that you went here and you studied and your professor let you go and he endorsed you or she endorsed you, right? And they're going to leave there feeling stronger and healthier. And even if it's bad news, they're going to know what they can do to make it good news. And that's what I knew what I was doing there. So that's what you want to do in that space. You want to study the reaction. Now, my last thing, because time's going pretty fast, and I want to do the freestyle, is there's a new ear. If you remember anything from leaving this thing, there's a new ear born every single day. That's what I tell myself all the time. Every time I accomplish something big, there's a new ear born every single day, which means no matter how famous I get, there will always be somebody who has never heard of me. No matter how many Grammys I win, no matter how many billboards I'm on, how many street names that are named after me, how many world records I break, there will always be a person that comes onto this planet right after my accomplishment that's going to be like, who? Mm-hmm. Oh, you rap something. This something, right? Which I hate when people do that. Rap something. Like Jackson, like, oh, you go to school? He's like, yeah, I run track. Word race me. Like, I hate that. Who would do that? Oh, you a teacher? Tell me something. Like, you know what I mean? It's messed up. But that's the big thing, right? So I want you guys to remember that as you're doing something, that no matter how many times you do it, no matter how great you are, it's always going to be somebody's first impression of you. I'm here with y'all right now. I've accomplished all this stuff. Jackson could read that off. Some of y'all in here may have never heard of it before or had to Google me as soon as you saw the picture on the flyer. And when you leave here, hopefully you leave here feeling like you're better than when you came. And then I was able to help that out. So that when you go back home and you talk to people who have never heard of me, is that a baby? Okay, let's go. Shout out to the baby. You know what I'm saying? I see new ear born every day. See how that? See that ain't nothing but black. That ain't nothing but black Jesus. You see how that works? You never know. I'm out of time now. I might have queued that up. You never know. But that you'll go up and have a conversation with somebody that I'll never hear. That will help dictate another fan. But it'll help make me bigger. So at the end of the day, it's just all about the throne theory, right? Be active, move around, do what you got to do, and I'll meet you guys at the top. Thank you. Now, we want to do some questions, right? First.
Yeah, we can do questions first, and then we can do.
Yeah, let's do questions first, and then we'll have
Then you
fun.
want to come down?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, just shoot anything out there. Like,
Yeah, anybody got any questions?
Yeah, and do not be shy at all. Like,
Yeah.
we're here to answer anything. So,
Anybody? Anything? In the back?
anything you think of.
I'll ask a question.
Oh, yes, please.
First of all, thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
It's what was really awesome is that what you said is applicable to so much of the performing arts. So many corners of the music industry, everything. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I was kind of curious because I think one of the things that's really hard for a younger performer coming up through is how much you should be aware of what others are doing and where you draw the line between letting that influence you and just simply being aware of it. So
Better preach.
anything you can
Better preach.
offer on that front?
I can. I think it's good to know what other people are doing. It doesn't ever hurt. You know, I feel like I've been influenced by what I've seen my peers doing, those who are what might be quote unquote like ahead of me, those who are coming from behind me as well. However, at the same time, you know, always be authentic, always be true to yourself, you know, and confident in what it is that you're doing. You have to set your own goals. You have to set your own goals. So if your goal is to create an album with sounds that you've never heard before, something that you're not familiar with, and you want to stick with that, then stick with that. Now, if for some reason you feel like you maybe, I mean, because we live in this social media phase, you get to see so much, there's so much access to you, and you're being influenced by something that someone else is doing, and you feel in your heart of hearts maybe it will help you do what you're doing, then great. Take a moment to use that, but always stay true to what it is that you're trying to accomplish, who you are and your authenticity, and focus on that. I think that sometimes for me, depending on the phase that I'm in life, I'll take breaks where I'm not really trying to look at what anybody else is doing. There's also times where I won't listen to anyone else's music because I don't want to be influenced by anybody else's music. I really want it to come from my inner source, you know, and, you know, for that reason, I can't really indulge in like what's actually being played on the radio or what people are putting out. I'm not really on Spotify. I'm only listening to me. And so, no, I don't know what that whole album that Chris Brown just put out sounds like, or that Beyonce just put out sounds like, because I'm kind of focusing on the music that I'm creating right now. So that's my thoughts there.
Okay, damn, I gotta follow that. I should have went first. Shit. I'm always on following someone. I always tell people following someone else's footsteps, but get a better shoe. Right? I'm lucky I have big feet, so I usually get rid of their footprint anyway. But you know, for me, it's really easy to follow. It's really easy to follow somebody. I mean, literally, that's where we're at now on social media, right? It's all about followers. It's so easy to follow somebody and a lot of people are more scared to stand out. To me, I always say you want to inspire. I want to inspire and not drag you on. I'm so against coattails. I'm so against cosigns and things like that in that space. A lot of people will fight more so for the cosign because it's the easy way. Oh, this person that's already done all the hard work says I'm good enough, they'll believe them. And I don't have to be good enough because people follow. So I would say, I want to make sure I say this right. And I'm going to give it now. I love analogies. If someone jumps off of a building or someone falls from a plane, depending on when you look, it could look like they're flying. Right? If you watch long enough, they're actually falling. So you have to make the decision when you watch that. Somebody can look at the wrong time and then follow that person, and then 2 people die. Y'all know what I'm saying now? You know what I mean? So you want to learn how to fly yourself, and then let other people compare you. And that's what I always say. Like, learn how to fly yourself, let other people. So for me, Jay-Z inspires me. In 2008, Jay-Z came out with an album called Kingdom Come, and it came with a special edition. You had to stand in the line and Sam Goodies. Y'all don't know what Sam Goodies is. Y'all know what Sam Goodies is. You had to go to Sam Goodies, you had to get the album. And if you bought it in person, it came with a special feature DVD that showed him performing at Albert Hall with the London Symphony. And Jay-Z's the first rapper to ever perform with a symphony. And I remember watching it, and I watched it until I put scratches on that thing because I was blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, this is success. Like, he's with a whole symphony and everybody on the stage white. It's crazy right now. I'm pretty sure he had tea and biscuits afterwards. But I watched it and I was blown away. And I was like, man, I would love to perform with a symphony, but I can't do it until I'm Jay-Z level. I think at the time he had like 12 Grammys. I was like, I ain't even put out a song yet. Like, I'm not going to be able to do it till like 2040.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, we sold out Heinz Hall with the Pittsburgh Symphony, the #1 symphony in the world, played my album, and I performed with them. And now I'm on my way to perform at Albert Hall with the same symphony that Jay-Z played with. I don't have as many Grammys as him. I have an Emmy. He got one too, but we both got the same amount of Emmys. But I'm not Jay-Z. I don't have his resume or his legacy, but I did exactly what he did in shorter time. Now, when you Google Jay-Z performing at Albert Hall, my name comes up as a flyer for the next one. So, you see what I'm saying? So I let that inspire me, but I didn't copy it. I wanted to do it better. So to answer your question directly, take influence. I would tell them to take influence, to pay homage, right? To make, and also I always say I always want to make the person that I'm following look over their shoulder, because that's how I want them to see me the first time. I don't want to meet them like this. I want to meet them like this. Oh, jeez. Oh, right? Like that turn around. Get too old. I did it. It hurt my shoulder. Damn. Shit. But yeah, so that would be the answer to that question: is make them turn around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I would like to add, and I see your hand in the back, sis. I would like to add to that, like, usually what you're doing that's different from everyone else is going to be what makes you stand out. So, like, embrace the uniqueness that you have within yourself. You know, that's very important. I feel like the reason why I've had so much success, I know when I first came out, I was always compared to different artists, especially in my city, because you want to claim your city first. You always, as an artist, especially if you're from a big city, like, the people in your city need to know who you are. They, you know, so that was like one of my goals. I needed to be known as this music artist from this city, and people outside of my city needs to think about Suzanne Christine. You know, like, oh, I know a girl from Philly. Her name is Suzanne Christine. I needed that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But when I first came into the game, there were other female artists who were doing their thing. They were doing their thing. And we were nothing alike. Nothing alike. However, we constantly were compared. It was like, who do you decide to open up for this artist versus, you know, that? Oh no, that artist should open up for this particular artist, not her. You know, and for me, it was just like, I'm nothing like those girls, and I don't want to be anything like those girls. And there was also some times where I felt like they were more popular than I was. But if we fast forward, I don't know where they are. I don't know what they are doing, but I am still here. I'm still present. I'm still making things happen. And I believe it's because I stayed very true to myself. I did watch them. I saw what they were doing. I actually probably it fueled me to like really want to like, oh, they going in, I'm going in too, So I used it in that way as well. But I always stayed unique. And I always stayed true to myself, and that allowed me to stand out and like pierce through. And
They probably was at home watching you on this. You had the Eagles game on the couch.
Right.
Yeah, they got turned over.
Definitely, for sure.
What was your question to that?
Sarah, I got you.
Let's go. Okay, we already got a name. Okay, Sarah.
Sarah.
Is that with an H or no H?
With the age.
That's where I'm classy.
Thanks. So my question is about digital distribution companies and using them for marketing, especially as an independent artist, and let's say for breaking into industries in like your city and such things, or is it more important to prioritize, let's say, radio inflow, like having your name in like Sirius XM as you mentioned, and or like let's say just the common popular radio stations or collegiate stations in your area? Sometimes that can be more cost inefficient though, and or maybe I'm missing a piece here, like a marketing agent or something in that realm, where it's more of a flat rate and uses both combinations. But what are your guys' thoughts?
So I'm going to answer that because I learned, first you have to use what you have access to. So when I spoke earlier, I'm not sure if you were here, but I said you have to utilize your resources wisely, right? So if you have access to the digital distribution companies and, maybe you have the budget for them to do what they need to do on the digital platforms, that's really, in this today's world, that's like a number one thing. That's like the easiest way to get yourself out there, hiring influencers that can repost your stuff through dances or, create content around your music, things of that sort. Very top of the line, number one priority. In fact, radio should kind of be almost last. You almost want to hear your songs on digital platforms and things of that sort, and then, market it, get your ads, get your write-ups. All of those things together, working together, is even better. Okay, now you're amplifying, you're magnifying everything that you're doing, and you're being seen everywhere and heard everywhere. If you're able to do these things as an independent artist and you have the funding to do these things, by all means, all of those things are necessary. But in today's world, it's all promotion. I was blessed enough to have access to the radio. So I used my resources wisely. They felt like it was perfect opportunity to put it on there. I was connected to a nationally known and internationally known DJ crew. They all started playing it on DJs, and then their program directors liked it. So program directors started filtering into the rotation. So if you have access to it, and maybe you don't have to fund it. Maybe you do have to fund it. I don't know. Everybody's situation is going to be different. And in the whole music business, there's no exact road, right? You're utilizing the resources that you have. But take advantage of all the opportunities if you can to get your music heard and out there. That if you're on the radio, you're going to get Shazam. If somebody is sitting next to you playing a song, or you're scrolling on your timeline and you're seeing a song that keeps popping up and you're liking it, you're going to go find it so that you can add it to your playlist. So that's my answer, my response.
No, so I want to, first of all, everything she said fast. Like, I'm going to give you a different approach to it, but like, do that. Right? Like the bundle is better if you have both.
If you can.
That's easy. I want to talk to you about having both. I can say Sarah because we're friends.
Yeah.
So one, what's the big radio station out here? Like in Philly? What would you say to hip hop or
This is Power 99.
Power 99? Yeah.
Yeah, 100.3 WRNT.
Okay.
I'm from the Midwest, so that's.
Oh, okay.
Q102.
So what's the one out there that you?
Q102.
It's like 100.9.
100.9. Okay. So
College radios.
yeah.
too.
So this two things. You'll see this how I'm blend this into my speech, right? Find out who the program director is and go to lunch. Right?
These lunch dates.
Go to lunch.
These lunch dates are.
Do some research on hunt that person. I'm gonna check on you too because we're gonna follow each other on this. I'm gonna be checking in, right? And you also know us. So if y'all not one of the big things, if you're not asking for help, your dreams aren't big enough. I better see all y'all in my DMs because we're here in person. So if you want help, you should be like, yo, Frzy. It's like I'm gonna sound like, yo, I hear you on the radio out there. Can you connect me with it? You know what I mean? It should be a very easy conversation. So I'm gonna follow y'all. I'm gonna like a whole bunch of pics. Like weird at like 4 a.m. Get weird. Okay? Just so y'all know I'm watching. Anyway, but this is one thing that I've realized. This is one thing that I've realized in the music industry, right? Is that people are still faking it until they make it. Right? You got to remember that because that Instagram, like that TikTok thing, is real different. Right? Everybody show you what they want you to see, but there's certain things in the music business that will always be consistent. Right, and the big thing is that you can see somebody post, I got 1 million streams, and people will like the post and be like, let's go, oh, I see you out here. But then somebody can post, hear my hit single on the radio. Like, your song might only have a couple hundred cents, but if people see that your song is on the radio, it's a different type of conversation. You're a different type of artist at that point because now your song is coming on right after Beyonce's song.
And that's happened to me.
You know what I mean? So it's different when somebody's in the car. You never see people posting stories on anything like, oh, I'm on iTunes listening. Maybe the first week the song drop out, their friends will post it, but you never see somebody like, in the car right now, it's on my playlist. No. But they will play that thing. Look who's on the radio, right? Oh my God. You think they worry about how many streams you got? Right? Especially with bot farming right now. People can just pay for the streams.
They can pay for everything.
Everything. But they can't pay for that, right? Like you get in that radio space, it could be your first single. It automatically changes the conversation and how people see you.
See, that's very interesting to me. And in doing that, let's say like it's in a different state,
Yep.
necessarily, and different things like that, or internet radio versus like in FM or AM radio.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
What airtime takes priority in the market that is now, especially in the industry, as you were talking about popularity versus success or
Right.
longevity
Right.
in that.
So you mean as far as like what would take priority as far as like in that space to other radio stations?
Yeah, like in breaking.
Yeah. Okay. So
like in ground theory.
I'm not just saying this to say you can Google this as a fact. I have a hit radio show on Odyssey. Right, it's a national show. It's a celebrity show. Odyssey does celebrity shows with myself, Brew, a couple people that play international. Now I don't have time to do that show. I'm doing my rap song thing, but I pre-record the show and then it plays every day of the week on Odyssey. Now Odyssey and iHeart are the two biggest radio conglomerates in the world, right? You have them, you have Odyssey, then you have SiriusXM. Odyssey has sister stations, so does iHeart. So 109 in the Midwest, once you get your song playing on there, they can easily connect you to any sister station, right? And then at that point, that's your cosign.
Yep.
Hey, who's our sister station in LA? Oh, we're in Odyssey. It's blah, blah, blah. Now you don't have to build that relationship.
Yep.
Right? Now you can have the program director that you made friends with because you took them to lunch and y'all talk and y'all text.
Mm-hmm.
To hit that program director and go, hey, this song's killing it over here.
Yep.
Right? Can y'all start spinning that? Yes. Now that post is. Now you can hear it in the Midwest and on the West Coast. You ain't got to say LA specifically. On the West Coast. Now that person will hit that sister station in San Francisco. You can do this all within a month.
Right.
And it's not costing you no money.
Yep.
You're not paying for spins.
Yep.
Right? So then you take that information and now you hit up the DJ out there who's been doing events. Because there's always DJs that do events with the radio station but don't work for the radio station. But they don't have shows.
Yeah, that's true.
So you hit them up. Hey, yo, my song blasting over here. They told me you the guy to talk to or you the girl to talk to.
Yeah,
You
you
play-
in the clubs and events.
And now your name is attached to the radio. So now when the radio show does a big show, because that's what radios do, right? They have a big country artist come out or a big hip hop, whatever genre you're in. And you let them know, hey, when the next time you have somebody come out here to do a radio showcase, which they always do because the big artists do the radio rounds, let me open.
Yeah.
Now you in the radio station opening for that person, and now all your stuff has that iHeart logo in the corner.
Yep.
That lower third is a motherfucker. That logo in the lower third, ooh, that'll change somebody's conversation real quick. Because now we're thinking more so now we're thinking into Google Analytics. Because if somebody Googles your single, they'll get iTunes, Amazon Music, the title. But the same thing I can get if I Google somebody's music who's not doing nothing. Just posted it one time and forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
But now when they Google you, it comes up iHeartRadio, artist to watch, new single up there.
Yeah.
Now I'm not worried about, now I ain't got to even look up your streams because I see your spins.
Yeah.
That's where the label comes in, if you want to go that route. You know what I mean? But and then now you get to the music business. Now you get to that now when your single comes out, ask the radio station to do a quick little article about you. But now that article is attached to the iHeart conglomerate.
Mm-hmm.
So now when people go to iHeart.com and they Google and they type your name in the search, an article comes up about you being this new artist. And you spent no money.
One last question.
Oh.
So we mentioned like artist contracts and also like, going the label route and different things there, right? But in signing in initially, right, if you do follow these steps, you do have these accolades and verifications, what does that necessarily look like, that first initial contract? Like, is it in the contract most likely, because from what I understand, a little bit of context.
Okay.
My father used to be signed for like RCA Records.
Let's go.
Way back when.
Shout out, Dad.
Right, shout out to him. Like, mentor, model, role model,
Let's
right?
go.
But it's like,
We Google him tonight.
in doing that, he was provided with like some distribution and allowed, like, but this is back in the 80s, like
Right.
some distribution and like living stipends and different things like that. And then he moved up into like more of a like authoritative positional role, right? And like administration-ish kind of for a little while.
Right.
What does that look like now, more newer model system with all this digital inflow? Like, what does that look like in the modeling as far as like, when I was studying more of like Dochi's like upbringing and different things like that, when she was first contractually signed, it was more like, it was harder to really find the details.
Absolutely.
As far as like what those first year artists, like the circuitry and like the machinery that goes behind that.
Yeah, because they had it. They gave it
Exactly.
They
So
gave it
like,
on
do you guys
purpose.
have insights on that or like thoughts on it necessarily?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I was going to say, I mean, everybody's situation is so different.
Yeah.
You know, there's artists that are being selected and chosen, they're being signed, and they're write-offs for the label.
We're going to talk about it.
And when I say that, that means they're literally getting signed, they're putting money out, they're shelving them, they have no intention on actually releasing that artist to the mainstream.
Right.
They're not able to distribute their music, they're not able to release their albums, they are slaves, stuck, and the freedom has been lost. However, you have other artists, on the other hand, they have a bright side, they have a great team, and a lot of times it may matter who is taking you to the label, because certain people, they get better treatment for their artist who they want to release. They have more budget. They say, you know what, we're going to give this artist better budget. We're going to give this artist a better deal. And we're going to make sure that this artist truly excels. We're going to put everything into this artist. And we're going to make sure that they are really showcased to the world.
So, yeah.
Everybody does not get that treatment. Does not mean that they're not a great artist. Does not mean that they don't have great music. Doesn't mean that they don't put work ethic in. It doesn't mean that they don't listen. You know, they have everything. However, they weren't selected and chosen to be released. So,
Yeah, I mean,
none of us can really answer your question about what that first year looks like for a signed artist, because every signed artist has a different story. You know, seriously.
Yeah.
Just figure out what you want to when you're going into it. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of artist do you want to be? Do you, sometimes I call it the Rockefeller treatment, right? Is that you go into it, like I know for myself with my deal, like I'm with Sony, and I have my own album deal, but I'm also I'm trying to manipulate it into a distribution deal.
So I have a distribution deal too.
Yeah.
And my label, I'm allowed to distribute through two distributions. I have Sparta with 300 Entertainment, and I have Sony Orchard.
Yeah.
So, but that's my flexibility, and that's my freedom, and that's what I wanted to manifest.
Preach.
So I'm doing things my own way. I put my own money behind it, and so.
Here's something crazy too, and I'm going to use you as an example.
Yeah.
just so like from the outside looking in. Like this is my friend, obviously, that's my girl, right? But as artists, right, we're not competition for each other. We're in two different genres.
Right.
But I know that I heard about her before I had even met her or got into the academy, right? And now, because of her distribution deals, the things that she does, because the label has machines, right? They put the machine behind you.
Yeah.
But because of her distribution deals and those label symbols in the lower third, right? When she does something big, they don't even think that she paid for it or did it, right? Because they're like, oh, well, that's Suzanne Christine with Sony. That's 300. Like she's getting that because they putting all into her, right? And she's not even giving the label a chance to do that because she's so, you know what I mean? She's so productive in her own space that she makes the label look better than the label makes her look.
I know it's true.
You know what I mean? So I'll see her post
In
something.
that situation.
You know what I mean? I'll see her post something. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you'll go. I'll give you an example. She did this huge. I gotta do the survey because I don't want to shit on people that might see these videos later.
Okay.
She did. Be careful about this. There was an event that the Grammys was doing, and we all were supposed to be there because she's on the board, so we were all supposed to be there, right?
Right.
But she was a part of that event, but she also did like a bigger show, right? And people just like assumed, I know a lot of people just assumed that the Grammys had gave her that show. Like she was doing something else that was like separate from everybody else. They just assumed like, oh, that's obviously they gave that to her because she did it, right? They didn't even realize that she had did that separately and then the label posted it. It was a whole thing. But it was really cool to see that she had created that, manifested that, worked hard for that by herself, and then allowed the label and allowed the people who see that thing in the lower third to take it to another level. So as you go, they helped it, right? So as you go and sit into those labels, if you want the machine behind you, you can tell them that, like, hey, this is what I want, right? Because that'll shoot you exactly, but you also got to make sure that you understand your foundation, right? Or you'll become like a sexy red, where like she's everywhere, but people are like, it don't make no sense. Like when you listen to a rap, you're like, it's a lot of ass in there for no reason. She don't got no bars. That don't make no sense. But the label's like, yes, it does. She with Bruno Mars. You're like, ain't that the same type of thing she did with Cardi B, right? Like you start to, right. So I always wanted to make sure as an artist before I signed my deal that when people who didn't know who I was did research, it made sense.
It still making sense.
It still made sense. They go like, the label got lucky to sign him. So just decide what you want to do because now, hopefully, I'll have Frzy. I have a thing called Frzy University, and I'll get a distribution deal with Frzy University, and then people will sign to Frzy University Sony, right? And then now I'll have artists that I can then push that are now using what I've worked hard for to help be able to lift them up, and then their successes are good, like a Rihanna or a Big Sean or like all these people that people go, you know what I mean? And even somebody like, even though Kendrick isn't signed to Rock Nation, when he got the Super Bowl, everybody was like, "Oh, Jay-Z made the decision," right? So you want to and that was Jay-Z's call. So you want to put yourself in a position where, as an artist, you're not only helping yourself but think about the ripple effect. You don't, right? You want to be a pebble that creates a ripple, or you want to be a mountain that creates a crater. So, yeah.
What are you willing to give up? You know, when you decide that, or if you decide you want to work with the label, or you want the label to do the majority of the work. It's very important to me. I tell people all the time is to make them come to you. You not go to them. Yeah. Because you have more leverage. What's that?
I said my dad would say that too.
Yeah. You have more leverage. You have way more leverage. You don't have to give up so much. So.
Yeah, another question or anybody else?
Yeah, we got time for like one or two more questions. If anybody could think of anything.
Oh, let's go. I saw your head nod. Yes, sir, my boy.
For both of you, I hear both of you talk a lot about like being success oriented, the destination, things you want to achieve. Talk about balancing the journey and the destination. Like just, wanting to be successful, wanting to get to a spot, but also being like, just in the day to day, I love my craft. I love what I'm doing. I get joy from this.
What's that question? That's really a phenomenal question. I'm a focus.
Hey, live your life, queen. I'm out here. I'm
balancing. First off, the whole thing is a journey, right? And for me, you're constantly creating new destinations. So I'm a nobody because everybody's somebody. So that's why I do quotations, right? I'm a nobody. I've never performed anywhere. Nobody from the industry even knows my name. I don't exist to the industry at this point. Let me put in some work. Oh, I get to perform here. I'm going to go out and sing here. Oh, I met this person here. Oh, this was great. I got a chance to do this. I got a chance to do that. I'm enjoying every single moment leading up to the point where, oh, that's Suzanne Christine. Have you met her? You didn't see? She was at such and such. Yeah, she just got finished doing such and such. Now I'm at a destination where I'm Suzanne Christine, the singer, songwriter from Philly. Like she's a Philly artist. All right. Moving through, on the journey, enjoying every single second of the journey. And I realized, and a lot of times you don't know when your destination is coming. You have absolutely no idea that you've hit the destination. A lot of times you don't realize that you've reached a destination until you are starting to reflect back that, oh, I'm this person now. I've achieved these goals. And a lot of times you're just living in the moment and you're still just doing what it is that you love. You're still creating, you're still collaborating, you're still building your brand, you're still owning your brand. You know, for me, I want it to be known, like he said, you're on the front lines. That's how you don't usually, the queen, you don't want to see a queen or a king really sitting on their throne. Like most people in real life, people are considered kings and queens because they are in the community, they are giving back, they are each one teach one, and they are a benefit and an asset to their everyday environments that they touch and feel. And for me, I always wanted to be this music artist, you know, who I had a vision board. I wanted to wear my natural hair. When I first started, I was not wearing natural hair. I was wearing weaves. It was colored. It was all these things. I evolved to one day I looked at my vision board and I was like, oh my God, it says wear natural hair. I am that now, right? It took me to have to see that on my vision board to realize that there was another destination that I achieved. You're never really going to get to a real end goal is how I feel. I feel I will always be evolving. I will always be changing. I will always want to see myself as this person that's involved in the community, that's giving back, that's doing my nonprofit work, that's being able to come out and speak to you all or, you know, serve with the Recording Academy as a board member or elected leader or whatever I'm doing and work with amazing individuals like Frzy, you know, that's who I am. That's who I want to embody. And balancing it, that means technically that I set an intention that this is who I am and I'm going to be that. And I'm going to show up as that every day. And that means that some days I'm doing this, some days I'm doing that. Some days I'm catering to this. Some days I'm catering to that. Sometimes I'm a mommy today. And again, because I'm a new mommy, I have a 1-year-old, you know. So now it's balancing being a creative, being a mother, you know, being active in my community, serving my board. I have a huge pie now. And I have to fulfill these things. And then showing myself grace along the way. So that's my answer.
I made it real quick because I know Jackson gave me the low eyebrows. Now when the Oscar music start playing, you be like, yeah.
And you're supposed to freestyle.
I know, right? I might not. We might have to do it over the phone. But so I was talking about legacy earlier, right? And I for myself, every day I try to do something to add a sentence to my legacy, right? And it's important to me because I'm a movie buff. I'm a super nerd. So when you ask somebody like, let's say Endgame, right? Marvel Endgame.
Yeah.
Like, what's the biggest moment in there? They always go, I am Iron Man. He snaps his fingers, right? That's the big moment in that movie. If you haven't seen it, it's too late. Spoilers. I'm sorry. but that's a big moment in that movie. And if you ask somebody about it, that's all they talk about. But there's so much that has happened in that movie to make that moment important. So in your journey, that's what you're doing. You're writing the part that's going to lead to the Iron Man snap. So think about that when you're just chilling at home by yourself, even when you're giving yourself mental health days.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because you might not, on those days, accomplish something, but how did you talk to yourself? I'm my first compliment every day. Before I came here, I had this suit laid out on the bed like it was the first day of school. I was like, oh, I'm going to kill him. You know what I mean? And the baby oil laid out just in case it was some lazy. You know what I mean? I was making sure. But I knew, I studied the reaction, like I said, right? I knew, I talked to myself. I hyped myself up when I woke up in the morning. And it feels like I always,
Mirror talk.
yeah, I call it second camera. It's always picture whatever I'm doing in my life, if there's angels or dead people, probably ghosts or something, I don't know. But they watching, right? They're watching me like a TV show. And there's people that know me up there that are bragging like, look at my grandson out here, right? But there's people who don't know me. So I always call it second camera where I'll do something and then I'll look at the camera. It's just no camera, obviously. But like if I'm on a TV show, I did pull it. I break the fourth wall because I am the evidence of God's existence. So everything I do every day, right, it's going to influence in the story that somebody's going to tell about me. Because now when people talk about Oprah, everybody's, but then you can look it up and they go, Oprah got fired from her first job.
Yeah.
That's true.
Failing.
You know what I'm saying?
Feeling like maybe that was a failure, but it wasn't.
Harrison Ford didn't get his first thing until he was 40 years old.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, okay, those are the moments that no one cared about until he became Harrison Ford or until she became so rich that her losing a job made sense. Or Michael Jordan, now the coach who cut Michael Jordan from the first high school team is now doing a tour about a book. Well, you know, I didn't see it, Michael, what everybody thought I saw, right? That Michael is so good, he's such a legend that when he was bad, it made somebody else popular.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So even on the moments when you're bad, think about how you're going to make somebody else popular. Every single day, man. You know what I mean? And I'll be checking on you.
And just be present.
Yeah.
Just be present in the now, in the moments that you're experiencing. You know.
Oh, and please don't hesitate to please reward yourself. Like that's a big thing for everybody in here. Like when you reward yourself, man. I'll go out and buy myself a $25 PlayStation card in a second. What? I did something good. Oh, I'm on Marvel Rivals tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just like you ever, what is it? I think it's The Office. Where like treat yourself, right? You know, treat yourself.
Yeah.
So go treat yourself. Reward yourself when you do something good. Don't always listen for a round of applause.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I try to be a
Give
type.
that to yourself.
Give that to yourself. Like you ever see that person that starts it? It's a bold person. If somebody got to start first, and if they wrong, they're gonna look weird. But be that person and clap for yourself. So reward yourself. If you're accomplishing something, you might sit in that day and you might be going through a depression day. You might be going through a mental health day. You got out of bed. Clap it up. You know what I mean? Like, you're never doing too much for yourself.
No.
You know what I mean? So,
I agree.
no problem.
Yeah, thanks for those insightful answers and you guys just being you. So we got one more potential activity. So I wanted to give it to you guys. What beat should we use? And we're gonna use whatever beat.
Oh, okay.
These guys or not.
No, we can do it. We can pick a beat. I just want to make sure everybody can hear how loud it's going. We can turn it down a little bit. I just want so what I'm gonna do is obviously like I love to practice all the time. So I didn't practice today because I was coming here. So he's gonna play a beat, and you guys pick anything. Okay. You guys pick anything in the world. It could be SpongeBob SquarePants. It could be. I did it a couple days ago at the Black Student Union. Somebody was like, Fairly Odd Parents, which is weird because he kind of looked a little hood. I didn't think he watched Nickelodeon. But y'all can pick anything in the world. Y'all said, I'm an information junkie, so hopefully I'll know something. And then we'll keep going. And then as we go, y'all raise your hand.
So you think we should go beat or no beat?
We
just
do.
get the keyword. You can get because you can do it. You do it with or without.
I know I do it with or without. You can give something low. Just pick like a Drake beat. Same Drake type beat.
Okay. Drake type beat?
You know, YouTube beat, Drake type beat. Yeah. And then you can pick something from the original. Yeah. Shout out to the Wi-Fi. The reception in here working. Okay.
I know, right?
It better be. Okay.
All right, we got Drake instrumentals.
Yeah, you can pick anyone. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm not good, son. It don't matter, kid. Okay. All right.
That's what she waiting for. play?
Yeah. My mic's still on? Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Perfect. You know how that looks like. Oh, when I'm rocking natural roll, how you see that? How you looking? How you pass it? Perspective. I got a fight classes. No matter how you get that, I tell them how I rap this. They say they see into my eyes, so I want some contacts. Let's go. So I came on my plane. Now they know what my name. Now they say they rap. Now I bring it back like I see. When they see me, y'all they gotta know that. You know, so. Hopefully y'all watch SpongeBob. So I got a rat. I'm on SpongeBob. I'm a star. Call me that. Squirrel. Got a bowl on my head, looking like a squirrel. Nobody gonna be able to got them when they swallow. Now I'm in the bottom, living swimming like it's bottom. This is how it be. I'm special when they fight me like a special recipe. They be like, oh my God. I be like getting sweaty. Now they say, Frzy, get up. And I'm like, I'm ready. All right, somebody else one. Oh, you looking at it? Oh, yeah, I'm up there. I can tell by the silhouette. We're actually sitting the same way that I thought. You did say platypus last time, yeah? We did, perfect. Yes. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Okay, give me one, Sarah. I had to put your socks under their name. Okay, oh, yes, brother, be over. You remember this?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, just close your eyes. Yeah, we good. That's the balance. Okay. Right there.
It's pretty copyright.
Right? Oh, yeah, right. Daydream, bring it back. Daydream cool when I rap. I'm talking Inception. I have to bring it back to Inception. Now I got to tell you one thing. I told them up for the doc, in case they want to question that. Understand me the way we get it in. About the past that I'm going with. They want to love it, like Peter Bob. So I Allen Iverson them when I draw. They go past that I can't do. Tell me that I'm rapping and it's true. See me like it's easy to compete. Man, I daydream in real life. I be going through some deep. They jump over that thing, jump over things. Frzy do this thing, Frzy do this thing. I feel real. Tell me that I'm real. My fancy is night clear. No matter what, you can do it. It's so cool and I can tell the way I prove it. Now I got it back. Tell them that I'm harder. You can believe in me and I put that on your heart. Thank y'all.
Fire.
Tell Dad I said what up.
All right, guys.
What do you say?
You ready? You ready to hop it up on the course? Like, everybody, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys really gained some valuable insight through these two incredible people who I will continue to work with, and hopefully I have back to the school
Yes, sir.
next fall. So,
Appreciate
guys,
y'all.
thank you so much. Round of applause to Frzy and Suzanne.
Yeah, make sure y'all follow us on everything so I can follow y'all back. I want to do that before I go home.
He really will stalk you.
Yeah, I'm on it, man. I'll be on the tour bus like, yeah, because I like to be out there because sometimes people will be like, yo, follow me, and then you follow them and they never follow you back. They just want you to follow them.
Yep, that happens.
It's committed. It's commitment.
I need to see if you got a dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to see the ugly moments. You know.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
it's good, but I appreciate y'all. Let's take a picture, y'all. Come down.
Yeah, everyone come down and
Yeah.
take a
Yeah,
picture.
let's-